Yesterday, Raila Amolo Odinga led a massive rally in Kibra, and the turnout was huge. The turnout was scaring. The turnout sent the government in a panic mode. And the issue of Jeshi la Baba ni jambo ambalo limeleta wasiwasi eti ni jambo ambalo limezua maswala mengi, because many people are asking what is Baba up to. Lakini kile ambacho tunasema hapa ni kwamba mwenye macho habiwi tazama, kwa sababu kila mtu anaona na yale kule ambapo tunaelekea ni wazi, like I always say, kama meno ya giri. At this juncture, I think William Samoei Ruto should resign. Looking at the way the direction of the politics of this country is taking, the honest thing, the honorable thing is for William Samoei Ruto to resign. In fact, Ruto must go for this country to move forward. Kwa sababu kile ambacho tunaona in developed countries, I think kama ni like a country like Britain, the Prime Minister could have gone by now, could have resigned by now, and we have seen it happening. But the problem with African leaders, they don't resign even when it is very clear to them, when it is very clear that things are headed in the wrong direction. Now, why am I saying that Ruto must go? When we look at all factors, with all fairness, I think the most important thing for him is to resign and maybe even Gachagua, so that the country maybe can hold a fresh general elections. The first reason, in my view, because is that he is the president, but in a disputed election. Because what we have a president, but the elections is disputed, and everybody in Azimio is saying that he did not win the election. And now, because of this belief, because of that kind of narrative, I think the best thing for the interest of this country, for the unity of this country, for the love of this country, the best thing is to call it a day and quit. And he'll be respected, by the way. If William Samoei Ruto was to resign today, he would go down in history as a true nationalist, a person who put the interest of the nation before his interest. But now what we have, I don't think, I said in the other video, that it will be very, very hard for him to resign. You know, power is very sweet, and power corrupt, and absolute power corrupt absolutely. So what we have is William Samoei Ruto and in State House and enjoying all the trapping of powers together with his government, but the country is suffering. So in my view, he should resign, and he should go honorably for the sake of this nation, by the fact that the election were disputed. Even if the Supreme Court said that he won the election, even if the Supreme Court did not agree with Raila Amolo Odinga, the best thing is to resign. The other thing is because when you look at William Samoei Ruto, he has been rejected by the majority of Kenyans. All said and done, kile ambacho tunaona ni kwamba wengi ni wale ambao hakubaliani naye. Wengi ni wale ambao, yes, he is in power, he's the president, constitutionally he's the president. But when you come on the ground, you realize that many people are not with him. The blue nation is larger than the yellow nation. And I've always repeated this. And because what we have now is a minority government. And this is not democracy, by the way. Democracy is where we have the majority ruling with the respect to the rights of the minority. But when we have the will of the people subverted, I think, all said and done, the honorable thing is for William Samoei Ruto to go, to resign honorably, and let the nation be. Let Kenya be. Let peace prevail. The other reason why I believe he needs to go is because of the regional support. When you look at William Samoei Ruto, he is only supported in Mount Kenya, but not the whole of Mount Kenya, because a sizable number of Mount Kenya people don't believe that Raila did not win the election. They believe that Raila was rigged out. And the other region that is supporting William Samoei Ruto to a man is the Rift Valley. People from the Rift Valley have no problem with William Samoei Ruto. But when you look at coast, when you look at Nyanza, when you look at Western, when you look at Nairobi, when you look at Eastern, especially Ukabani, you will see that 5 regions are not in agreement. 5 regions are behind the blue state. So that is what we are saying. We are having a minority president, a minority candidate who was declared the president, and because of lack of support from all regions, it is the only the better thing for him to resign. Jambo nzuri ni kung'atuka na kuachana na uongozi ili nchi endelee kudumisha amani. The other thing which I believe is very, very important, when you look at Azimio, Azimio has a plan. Azimio is going to bring issues in this country. Azimio is not relenting. Baba is not relenting. And when I was listening to Jeshi Baba, when I have been listening to people in those meetings, I think if William Samoei Ruto is not careful, we can find ourselves shedding blood. Huo ni ukweli usemwe. Kwa sababu ukiangalia, what do they mean? Because you see, wanasema they are waiting for Baba to give directions so that they can eject William Samoei Ruto from State House. What does that mean? It means bloodshed. So to avoid this, the best thing, for the sake of the lives of millions of people, because Baba has supporters, there are people who are ready to die, and they are saying it, mchana, hawafichi, hivyo ndivyo ambavyo wanasema. I would urge the president to consider the lives that would be lost if this thing was to happen, because the lives of the individuals comes first. Because if Baba is going to carry out his threat, if he's going to give in to the demands of his supporters, you can imagine what can happen to this country, because it is something that can bring chaos in this country. It is something that can bring a lot of bloodshed in this country, because power cannot just be given like that. It is something that he should avoid at all costs. Again, when you look at William Samoei Ruto, you realize that the price of commodities is very, very high. You realize that people are hurting. Utapata kwamba kila mtu analalamika. Utapata bei ya kila kitu imepanda. Kila siku watu wanaamka wanapata bei ya bidhaa imepanda. And just the other day, we were hearing that the cost of water is going to be multiplied by 10. And this is coming when electricity has been quadrupled. I don't know where we are heading to. By the fact that the cost of commodities is very high, and he has been unable to bring the cost of living down as he promised, then the best thing is to resign. And I think the Prime Minister for Britain resigned because of some of these things, because she realized she could not fulfill the many promises, and the objectives of the party could not be achieved. And it is an honorable thing to do for a good leader, a true nationalist. I hope William Samoei Ruto is listening. Again, when you look at what is happening in this country, you realize that he gave so many promises, and these promises have not been fulfilled. If you look at what he had said that he's going to achieve within 100 days, utapata kwamba sio mengi ambayo aliweza kutimiza, ni machache sana ambayo aliweza kutimiza. Na unajua ahadi ni deni. He owes to Kenyans, and because he owes to Kenyans, na mambo yanazidi kuwa mabaya, then the best thing is to say ameshindwa kabisa, na unajua asikubali kushindwa sio mshidani. Na hapa kile ambacho anafaa kusema ni kwamba yes, I promised so many things, but I was not able to achieve this. Again, there is talk of revolution in this country, and for those of you who follow the politics of this country, people have been talking about people's revolution. And they have been talking about it in barazas. Even yesterday, people were talking about it in Kibera. In Kamkoji, people were talking about it. In Jakarta, they were talking about it. In the street, they were talking about it. If it were to happen, I think it would be something that many people would not like to see. Sio wengi ambao wangetaka kuona kitu kama hiki. Because a revolution means a total overhaul of everything. na ni jambo ambalo linaweza kuwa na mambo mabaya sana, jambo ambalo linaweza kutatiza nchi hii, ni jambo ambalo linaweza kutia nchi hii katika hatari kubwa sana. So my point is, why wait for this if he is able to resign, if he is able to save the situation? Because Baba has put it very clearly that he is not willing to share power. I don't know what you think, but if you ask me, Ruto must go. But the big question, is he going to go? Remember to like this video, give it a thumbs up to support this channel. For those who have never subscribed to this channel and have been watching this channel, just hit the bell and subscribe, and maybe have a blessed week. Bye-bye.